Going on? Today is May 1st. Hope you are doing okay. Hope all is well. We had FOMC today. We've got NFP on Friday. Tomorrow, you have 8:30 unemployment claims. That's the only red folder news on Thursday tomorrow. And then at 8:30, you have your non-farm payroll being released, your average hourly earnings, which is monthly, your unemployment rate, and then following up at 10 a.m. to end the week, you have ISM services PMIs. So we still have plenty of, obviously, news for the rest of the week. Kind of had a crazy day in price action following relatively 2 quiet days to start the week. So we will go ahead and jump into it, and I will go ahead and get into the DXY.
You're good.
Tell me when you. All right. So on a weekly on dollar, still aiming for buy side up here. Now we're kind of creating a relative equal high area in the market here at around 106,500, 106,600. Thought we were going to maybe potentially take this high and start working towards the high again. We did not. Today, we kind of reverted back lower and back into this weekly BISI. So my thoughts are going into the rest of the week. Do we manipulate in and around this low? Do we pop right back up? Or do we fill the rest of this weekly BISI? When you go into a daily, it's a little bit more clear. You can see we've just been ranging so far. We do have relative equal highs, so I think we're setting up an engineering liquidity there. But we could work a little bit lower. I'm curious to see where in the next 2 hours this daily candle closes, right? We're kind of attacking last Friday's low, and we've already taken out Monday's and Tuesday's low today. So depending on if it wants to pop back up and close above here, we could still get another run higher. But right now it's just ranging, so I'm waiting for it to show me an idea in which it wants to go with regards to higher or lower. If we do close back below below this BISI, right? I mentioned this on Sunday. If we close back below this BISI, I would like to see us potentially head more towards the equilibrium and maybe tap into this larger BISI in here, right? We've got some down closure candles in here. So I'm curious if we want to deliver into a discount, I'd like to see price close back below it. Still kind of 50-50 right now. It didn't show us too much with regards to FOMC besides the fact of I am still aiming for buy side liquidity. We have relative equal highs in here as well, so that's a target that I'm potentially looking for. It's just a matter of do we want to potentially attack that between tomorrow and Friday, or is it something that we're going to save for next week? So just keep that in mind. Note the next 2 hours. Where do we close? I'm curious because we can still close inside this BISI and then potentially still make a run higher. It's something that I'm still looking for, but I do know that if we do get closure below here, we could start to pull a little bit lower into the 105 200s, 105 flats, and then maybe a little bit deeper before seeing a retracement higher. So kind of at a standstill. There's still not a whole lot of data for me to anticipate something for tomorrow and Friday. So I am at a little bit of a standstill, but I'm curious to see if indices want to continue lower, and Henry will be the one to tell you about that. So I'm all good.
All right, let's look at indices. So starting with ES, just taking a look at the monthly chart, you can see how in April we traded down and closed below the midpoint, the consequent encroachment of the BISI right here, and we're trading back in it now after trading all the way up back into March's low. So you have an immediate rebalance right there, and we're starting to drop back off of it. So just taking a look at the monthly chart, I'd be interested in seeing if price can work back toward, at least in the direction of April's low, if not trade all the way back down toward April's low. If we do continue seeing price action trade lower and through April's low, then it's this BISI here that I would look for as the next objective. On the weekly, you can see how we are trading off of this weekly SIBI right here. It did end up being a pretty small SIBI that was created, but nevertheless, that is an imbalance still. And we've utilized it to trade back down into the range. So just going forward into the remainder of the week, I'll be looking at the prior week's low as an objective to trade toward, and of course the low from today as well. Okay, so just looking for sell side below here, and then the monthly sell side below there. Daily, you can see that on FOMC today, we did have a run back up into a premium of the range. We had an immediate rebalance here on the daily as well, just trading into that candle's low. And if you look on your 4-hour chart, you can see a 4-hour SIBI up in here as well. So we traded back up into a premium and then back down, lowered back down towards sell side and the low that had been created initially. in the AM session. And now, just as we go into tomorrow, looking for price to continue working into today's low as sell side. Okay, so looking for Thursday to trade below here and then down toward this swing low here from Thursday of last week, and then you have Monday, the previous weekly low right here. Okay, so watching for that, and then of course this swing low, which is from the monthly chart, as a further objective. So initially just looking for here and here, and then seeing if we can continue that expansion toward the downside. On NASDAQ, monthly, we're back trading in that BISI again. Same idea as ES. If we're looking for more downside, just looking toward April's low. On the weekly chart, you can see we left a larger SIBI than we had on ES. We traded up into it here, remained in the lower portion, so that's a good bearish signature as long as we continue to displace away from it, which we have done, and we're working lower. So I'll be interested in seeing if price can work toward the prior week's low down here. On the daily chart, same idea. We ran up, had that immediate rebalance very nicely, and traded away from it. So just going into tomorrow, looking for today's low, sell side liquidity under this swing here, and then the monthly swing down here. Pretty simple. Keeping our eyes on lower prices for now until we see some form of displacement back to the upside through this swing high. Otherwise, just looking for down here and down here. That is all from me.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm curious to see it. It looks like right now that potentially we might get dollar and indices trading in the same direction unless dollar finds something under its hat to go higher. And that's totally okay. You just got to be aware of that and know that it can create a little bit more of a high resistance liquidity condition. But other than that, I'm good. I'm all good.
Yeah, sounds good. Just be aware of that economic calendar. We've kind of had a bit of a like a minefield, as ICT refers to it this week, and with all these different events throughout the calendar, and as a result, we've seen a whole lot of high resistance liquidity runs throughout the course of the week. So just be patient, be cautious. It's fine to wait until next week for better price action, especially as we near NFP going into tomorrow, and then of course on Friday. So just be cautious, be safe and responsible as always, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.